Oh, look at that. I've gone all live action. People say I'll do anything for a cheap laugh, but I don't care one bit, or a 8-bit for that matter. Mamma mia! Yep, there's a new Mario movie on the horizon, and thankfully it has better production values than whatever that just was. In fact, you can expect the Super Mario Galaxy movie to be about as spangly as a diamond-encrusted U-bend, because this is actually a sequel to what was the highest-grossing film based on a video game of all time. And not just any video game, but itself one of the most successful and culturally significant video game franchises ever made. Yep, not only did 2023's The Super Mario Bros. Movie become a box office smash and heralding a new blockbuster age for gaming adaptations, it also introduced a whole new generation to everyone's favourite Japanese, Italian, American plumbers in the process. To understand how this has happened and why it's so significant, we need to take a little trip back in time. Yeah, I thought you were going to put a cool, time travel effect on there. No? No. We blew the budget on the Mario costume, didn't we? Knew it. Fair enough. Okay, let's take the timeline back to Seattle, 1934. 1934? Yes, stay with me, because 92 years ago, an Italian-American real estate developer by the name of Mario Segale was born. I mean, in fairness, I don't think he was a real estate developer when he was born. That bit probably came later, but it is important, as is the fact he's called Mario, obviously. Anyway, by the early 1980s, Mario had grown his property business into a flourishing empire, constructing and leasing properties throughout the Seattle area. One of these buildings happened to be a warehouse being leased as the American headquarters of Japanese brand Nintendo, who had recently begun developing popular arcade games. According to legend, during development of the game Donkey Kong, Mario, in his capacity as landlord, visited the warehouse with the intention of collecting some overdue rent. However, after he agreed to grant Nintendo more time to come up with the money, employees affectionately renamed the Donkey Kong player character, previously known simply as Jumpman, to Mario in his honour. How the Mario we've come to know and love went from being a property tycoon to a plumber, legend doesn't record. Maybe he did a night course or something like that. But it's fair to say the character has been doing his entrepreneurial namesake proud ever since. The Mario franchise has spawned somewhere between 200 to 300 plus gaming titles over the last 40 odd years, depending on whether you include cameos, spin-offs and educational games, which of course I do, becoming the best-selling video game franchise of all time in the process. As well as this, the artist formerly known as Jumpman has appeared frequently in comics, manga and TV series, on lunchboxes, commercials, shampoo bottles, cereal and even as a theme park attraction. In other words, Mario has become the world's most in-demand plumber, and I'm not even sure he's on the gas safe register. But despite all of this success, until recently, Mario, Luigi and friends had never cracked the silver screen. This was in large part due to the perceived failures of 1993's Super Mario Bros., which, well, let's put it this way, wasn't one of my favourites. Nintendo had initially been so confident in the robustness of the Mario brand that they gave the filmmakers complete creative control over the project, but the surprise casting of gruff but lovable Cockney Bob Hoskins as Mario and an overwhelmingly stinky script ultimately alienated audiences and gamers alike. Following a critical and commercial panning, Nintendo decided their prime asset was best kept shielded from Hollywood's harsh glare, and thus we didn't see Mario back on the big screen for another 30 years. Which brings us back up to the modern day. Yeah, still no effect. And the release of a new wave of Mario mega movies, featuring the voice talents of Chris Pratt as Mario, Anya Taylor-Joy as Peach, Charlie Day as Luigi, Jack Black as Bowser, Keegan-Michael Key as Toad and Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. The new franchise has relaunched and reinvigorated our old friends for a 21st century audience. Under the guidance of animation powerhouses Illumination, the Super Mario Bros. Movie brought a beautifully expansive, colourful and funny Mario universe to life, with a gleeful abandon that hadn't been seen before. Audiences lapped it up. I loved it, helping it become one of the highest grossing movies of all time. Which means that anticipation for its sequel, the Super Mario Galaxy movie, is also super high. This time around, Benny Safdie and Brie Larson join the star-studded cast in a story that sees Mario, Luigi, Peach and Yoshi head into outer space to battle a new but familiar adversary, Bowser Jr. If it's anything like its predecessor, expect this to be another smash hit, perfect for family viewing, whilst also tipping a jaunty red hat towards the OG gaming community. You can catch the Super Mario Galaxy movie from April 1st, or probably earlier if you have a plumbing emergency, although I expect the call-out fee will be higher. Anyway, mustache.